Are you looking for new construction homes in Palm Beach, Martin, or St. Lucie County? Now, these are likely going to be homes that are built by some of the nation's largest builders, including D.R. Horton, K. Hovnanian, Coulter Homes, GL Homes, Taylor Morrison, Ryan Homes, and Del Webb, just to name a few. Now, this would include communities such as Westlake, Alton, Bridgewater Jupiter, Artistry Palm Beach, Avenir, Valencia Grand, Valencia Park, and Astor Creek Golf and Country Club. That only names a few of them. There's a wide array of communities, and it goes across a number of price points from the high 300,000s into the several millions. What are the pros and cons of buying a new construction home? First pro of buying a new construction home in Florida, especially a new construction home in Palm Beach County, Martin, or St. Lucie County, is the fact that the builders can offer better interest rates than just a regular resale mortgage can give. They can offer them in a couple of ways. One may just be a flat, altogether rate reduction because they can pay for a rate buy down. Over the life of the loan, they can pay the points up front to buy your rate down. That can often be negotiated into the terms of the deal. Or they may do what's called a 2-1 buy down, which basically for the first 2 years, you have a reduced interest rate on your loan. First 2% below, then 1% below. You're qualified at your full interest rate. But the advantage to doing this is it offers you kind of a 2-year window to ramp up your payments. So in the meantime, you can do things like buy furniture with the extra money. And if you're coming into a new construction house, you're going to want new furniture. Nobody wants to put old furniture into a new house, right? Second pro to buying a new construction property in Florida. This one, honestly, this one's become a really big one, and that's insurance costs. The cost to insure new construction versus resale is likely going to be lower and likely going to be significantly lower. And it's logical, right? If you're looking at a house that was built in the mid-50s that has cast iron piping and older electric and all the components of the house are just older, that's a different story than having a house with a brand new roof. So we have 0 years of life on it. Brand new electric up to today's code. Plumbing, PVC up to today's code. So the insurer is going to want to be compensated for their risk, right? So they're likely, under every circumstance I've ever seen, but I'm just throwing likely in there as a wild card, they are likely going to give a lower premium to a new construction home over existing construction. And in Florida right now, let me tell you, insurance is expensive. This can really save you a lot of money. Next pro of buying a new construction home in Florida. Look, let's be honest. If you buy a resale home, you may have to dump money into it. Now, I've closed a lot of houses, and I've been on a lot of inspections, and I've seen a lot of inspection reports, and I've seen them run the gamut. I mean, I've seen wiring that's on the verge of being a fire hazard, unpermitted additions, unpermitted repairs, code violations, all sorts of stuff that comes up on an existing home that doesn't come up on a new construction home, logically, because the new construction home, the permits are, you can't build without the permits. And every turn of the screw, a code inspector has to come, or a building inspector, sorry, has to come and make sure that you're doing the work correctly. So you're going to avoid all those issues on new construction that are going to pop up on resale construction. And mind you, even if you buy a house that's for resale, and let's say the roof is 10 years old, you still have to replace that roof in a handful of years. Where on new construction, you're starting from day one. You get the full 15-year run of it, assuming it's a shingle roof. But anyways, the moral of the story is, for repair costs, if you're worried about repair costs, and if you're worried about, if I buy this house, do I have enough money to pay if something goes wrong? What if the swimming pool needs to be redone? You don't have those fears with new construction. So huge pro in that you can limit your downside in a way that you can't for a resale home. A con of new construction, in my opinion anyways, is the sale contract. Now, if you're buying from a builder, the builder is likely, and by likely I mean every time I've ever seen it, they're going to use their own contract. They're not just going to use the regular state contract that is used on all resale transactions. The other problem with this is they're not really going to bend on the terms of that contract. So you can retain an attorney, and you should absolutely retain an attorney to go through the nitty-gritty of this contract, but you're doing it basically so you can understand your exposure. You're not doing it so that your attorney can pull out 5 clauses he wants changed to send it back to the builder. The builder's just going to laugh, and we don't do this. That's not how this is done. 99.9% of the time, that's the deal. So you really can't change the contract, but you need an attorney so you can understand what the holes in this contract are and what your exposure and risk are in the contract. So very different than resale, where we just have a regular state contract that's much more, well, it doesn't really benefit one side more than the other. You can argue semantics, but for the most part, I think that's true. The next pro of buying new construction, you will likely be able to get more seller's concessions, more stuff, if you will, out of a builder than you will out of a regular resale person. In my experience, builders have been much more flexible with offering concessions on things that a regular resale homeowner won't. So I do believe that while you may not be able to change the price of the property the way you can on a resale, because for the most part in new construction, the price is the price, but you are able to negotiate the different parts of the deal that help you bring less money into the closing. And I think especially for first-time home buyers who are worried about how much money they're going to have to bring in, this is a big advantage if you're dealing with a new construction home builder versus just a regular everyday resale home seller. Next negative, and this is a big negative for buying a new construction property. You're not going to know what your actual property taxes are. So when your builder bought the land, they just bought a huge piece of land. They divided all these folios up, but tax roll is just based on what the land value is. It has nothing to do with what the value of the structure that the builder is putting on top of it is worth. So your first year for taxes are going to be super cheap because the tax roll hasn't caught up yet. The following year, or if you get really lucky, the year after, but most likely the following year, property appraiser is going to come out and they're going to say, nope, your property's no longer worth what this land value was. Property's now worth sizably more. Here's your new tax bill. Now you can estimate that tax bill coming into things, but it's just going to be that, an estimate. You're not truly going to know what your taxes are going to be. So this is a concern. This is something that I just think more than anything, home buyers need to be aware of. So not necessarily a con, but don't think that your tax bill from day one is going to be your tax bill in year 10. That's not how it works on new construction. Next positive of buying a new construction home in Florida is that you're going to get a builder's warranty, or you should get a builder's warranty along with the purchase of your new construction home. Now these warranties vary, so I'm just going to leave it at the word warranty because they can cover anything from structural, roof, all the mechanical systems inside of it, all the way through to an appliance warranty. So different builders are going to offer different things. Not all of them are going to be the same in terms of warranties, but on resale properties, you may get an appliance warranty. That's it. You're not going to get warranties that cover, the structure and all sorts of other things like that. And it's unlikely that, for example, if a roof was done a number of years ago, that there will be any time left on a warranty there. Same with an HVAC system. New construction, you get all that. So I think that once again, this gets into mitigating your risk, knowing your exposure, knowing what costs you may run into, they are likely going to be lower on new construction than on resale. Negative of buying a new construction home in Florida. Now, I'm going to assume that you're buying from a larger builder in a community when I say this. We built our house on a piece of land that we bought, and we built from the ground up. So I'm not talking about that type of new construction. If you're in a community, you're going to be subject to HOA rules and restrictions. Now, I don't know about most of you, but I don't really like rules. And I don't like people telling me what I can and can't do on my own property. That being said, it is nice to have all of the costs absorbed through all of the homeowners instead of just shouldering them yourselves. Also, if you have a community that's amenity rich, you got to pay for those amenities, and those come through your homeowners association dues. So you can view it as a positive or a negative. I think you can see both sides. But again, if you want to buy into a large community, you are going to be subject to an HOA, and you are going to be subject to those rules. The good thing is you get to know the rules up front. So you can review all the documents, and there's no surprises, down the line of rules being in place for you. Next con I'm going to come up with is that you may not get a home in the exact area that you want. The reason for this is a builder simply may not be building a community in an area that you're interested in living in right now. So you do have to be a little bit flexible if you're looking at new construction. Again, this may not be a bad thing. It may push you into an area that you hadn't explored before, and suddenly you find out, there's something coming up in this area, say Loxahatchee. We hadn't been out there, we hadn't explored it. Oh wow, there's some new homes coming out there. That looks interesting. What about Westlake? It's next to it. Where you were thinking maybe you wanted to be up more towards Jupiter. So there's positives and negatives to this. But I do think that you have to be realistic. Where on resale, you can just say, yeah, I want to be in this neighborhood, on this street. You wait for a home to come up, it might happen. You can't do that with new construction where a developer is building a large community. Again, you can buy a single family home, tear it down, and build your own house. That's a whole different workload, whole different beast. We did it. I can talk to you all about it. But I'm referencing here a large community that a builder's building. Again, it may push you from somewhere like being in Palm Beach County up to Stewart or up to Port St. Lucie. And it just may make more sense for you to do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. So just keep in mind that you may want to be flexible because the inventory may not exist in the area that you want to be in at the time that you're looking. So finding the available inventory on new construction homes is more challenging than finding the inventory of just a resale home. A resale home, somebody's going to sign a listing agreement, the agent's going to put it on the multiple listing service. It's going to work its way through syndication through Realtor.com and Zillow and all the other websites, and you'll be able to see it. New construction works differently. New construction, the builder doesn't just throw all of their inventory out there. They hold back another number of the homes that are listed, that are for sale, and they'll just maybe put one or two homes out there for people to see. My intention is to help people working with me to try to be able to cast a little bit of a wider net and get a hold of more of that inventory ahead of time. So I'm going to link a search page here for new construction that's on my website that if you go to, it's going to allow you to search builder inventory directly from the builders. I pre-registered my website and I had to go through a bunch of hoops so that you can do this. But if you register there as a home buyer, it'll let you through the portal and you'll be able to see more of the inventory than you'll be able to see just from searching on Zillow or Realtor.com or something like that. Now that being said, I'm also going to link all of the on-market inventory just to make sure that you see everything, and you shouldn't miss anything this way. And even when we go to sit with a builder, they're probably going to tell you, hey, by the way, we also have all these other houses available. So the key to it is kind of exploring what community you want to be in. And then we go and we sit with the builder and tour the neighborhood. So it's a different process than resale. But it's a process I greatly enjoy working. I really think, especially for first-time home buyers, man, if I was starting over and looking at my first home, this is the only direction I would go. There's not even a question about it. So I encourage you to explore the new construction route. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or it's your third home, I do think there's a community for everybody. And I do think it offers a lot of benefits that people may not get through resale. Final thing is this: if you are interested in new construction and you don't want to raise your hand and go and look at properties, but you want to know more about the process itself and what it kind of entails, I do have a new construction buyer's guide that I can give to you. You can go ahead and email me and I can go ahead and get it right out to you. Or ideally call or text me. But look, if you're serious about searching for a new construction home, there's a couple of things that you can do. Go below to the property or to the description of this video and click on the link for new construction home search. Click on that and register somewhere on my site, whether it's for a property search or on the builder search. Just raise your hand, that way I'll know to reach out to you. We can have a larger conversation. If you're not property specific right now, but you just want to talk more about it, you can click the link below that says book a call with me. We'll take 30 minutes, you and me will just talk. Tell me what it is that you're looking for. We'll try to get some parameters set, narrow some things down for you. Or of course, just like I said, ask me for the buyer's guide and I can send that over to you. But somehow raise your hand and start talking to me. I don't really care if you're looking to buy next week or next year. The sooner that I can get in front of you, the easier it is for me to guide you. It's hard when I get involved in this stuff and you're like in the 7th inning of a 9-inning game, because then I have to, we have to go and change a bunch of stuff. So anyways, reach out to me sooner rather than later. Thanks for watching the video, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon.